It is time for Around the 412 with Smitty and Tyler.
Welcome back to another episode of Around the 412. I am Tyler. With me, as always, is my co-host Smitty. Go follow us on all of our social medias at Around the 412. Also, if you're not watching the show there already, go check us out on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Also, if you're interested, I know this is the Pirates episode, but next week during the NFL draft, we are going to be live during the first round, at least, of the NFL draft. Maybe in the second round, some capacity. We'll see who's around. But we are going live. Have a live show. We've done it for the past several years. I mean, this is year 5 of us doing a live show for the draft. I believe so. 2020 was our first one. Well,
2020 wasn't it just like in collaboration with Jake and Nate?
That's true.
So I think that 2021 was the first one we did us. Yeah. So really,
this is technically still the 5th one. It's 4 years, but 5th draft that happens.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Tune in. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live for that. Also, follow us on all the listening platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and check out the description on the listening platforms and over on YouTube to check out all of our great sponsors. You know what isn't great? The Pittsburgh Pirates. This is the Pirates episode, and we have not recorded in 2 weeks, and it's probably a good thing because then we'd probably be more depressed than we are actually going to be talking about this team. I don't even know what to call it. Is it a team? Or
dude, we're 17 games into the season. It's like not only do they suck, but they're also they've been super unlucky in terms of injuries and stuff. Like, I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're only in the position they're in because of the injuries that they've endured, but they certainly haven't helped. They're probably a slightly better team than what their record shows because of the injuries that they've endured. And I'm sure at some point they'll go on like a little mini streak and get hot at some point, ebbs and flows of a regular baseball season. But less than 20 games into this thing, and I'm already so checked out, which is like absolutely unacceptable in year 6 of this rebuild when you have the most talented pitcher that we've seen in our lifetimes in this organization right now. And there's just been so little to effort to put talent around him to really build this thing up. Less than 20 games into this, not watching the game tonight because of us recording. And I know that like when they're playing as much as they do, that does happen during the season. But like if possible, we'll typically try to be like, hey, let's do it a night where they play an afternoon game. We can record during the night. I don't care. I don't care about missing games right now. It's just. Oh, I'm so checked out. And this is just like a rant basically. This podcast is going to be incoherent thoughts probably just as they pop in my head. But the biggest thing to me about all of this and why it's like, yes, we know Bob Nutting, awful owner. How much can they even improve with him as the owner, regardless of who's GM? That's true. But the GM sucks at his job. And then it's like, okay, well, how much does it matter, the manager, if the GM isn't getting the right players? Derek Shelton also sucks at his job. So, like, not only it's just top down, they're just bad. And from Derek Shelton's standpoint, why I brought that up, like, again, year 6 for him as well. They were brought in together. How are they still so fundamentally bad? All they talked about all offseason was winning on the margins, needing to do all the small things right. Like, if you're not going to be some superpower team with a bunch of, like, top-tier talent, you need to do all the small things correctly. They're so bad, fundamentally. I mean, this is the worst team in the league.
It's hard to argue with anything that you said, and they are so bad. But the sad part about this is like, this isn't surprising. We all knew this was going to happen, which is probably why it just like feels so much worse than it actually would. Because let's be honest, how many times over the last several seasons have probably not a ton from what I'm about to say. How many times have the Pirates started a season like this? I'll just say in general, not just the last several seasons, because last several seasons, they've actually started pretty good in the month of April.
Starts are pretty good.
So how many times in general have the Pirates started this way and we felt like this lethargic talking about the Pirates? Like, we just do not want to absolutely do it. And I just think that a lot of that plays into the fact that we knew who they were when we started the season, and they are at least what they are, and they're worse than that. And what's crazy to me is you add in the injury to Jared Jones, and the pitching staff has been worse than what we were hoping for, but the offense is just putrid. It's a continuation of last season. And the bullpen, very spotty at times. But the offense, to me, that's just the most damning thing about this entire situation, is that they thought what they did in the offseason was enough. And that's why I agree with you. Like, Ben Sherrington is the worst GM in all of baseball. He has to be. I don't see.
I'm not going to argue against it. Especially
I don't
right
see
now.
a world. Like, the only good thing that he's done is draft Paul Skenes over Dylan Cruz. And that's pretty much it. He made the right call there. So he's batting like, I don't know.
Well, it's about what the team is. Yeah, which is about what the team is also batting.
He's batting probably what the team
kind of falls in line.
It's crazy to me that they are just so much who we thought they were, and
exactly. And you mentioned this, and like, I don't even know if the term "slap in the face" will do this job. They literally punched the fan base in the face. They put on some brass knuckles and punched the fan base in the face this offseason because they were adamant that what they did, they felt like was going to be enough for this team to be competitive. When all offseason, all we said was this team needed to improve the offense. They needed more bats, even if it meant maybe dealing from some of the pitching. But they said no. They didn't think they needed to do that. They thought that they could improve internally and making a small move here or there, Spencer Horwich trade, whatever it might be. It was obvious to everybody besides the organization. Yeah. It was obvious to everybody besides the organization themselves, the ones calling the shots, how this thing was going to go. And we're seeing it play out like everybody besides the organization said that it would. And we're sitting here less than 20 games in, and I really feel like I don't like speaking for other people. I'll never tell people how to be a fan or how to think or whatever like that. But I can only go based off of what I see on my timelines and stuff like that. I think a lot of people are all within the same boat where it's like so many people seem to be checked out from where this team is right now. And it's, again, you're talking about a relatively weak division that the Pirates play in. You're talking about year 6 of a rebuild. You're talking about having the most talented pitcher that you've had arguably in team history. Like, and making less than $1 million is this pitcher right now. This is an organizational failure every day. If every day that Paul Skenes spends as a Pittsburgh Pirate, he should spend trying to figure out how to not be a Pittsburgh Pirate.
That's a good point. I mean, maybe he should follow suit with the guy that wore a Paul Skenes Yankees jersey to the opening day at PNC Park, because that's where he's going to end up. He's going to end up in New York or Philly or LA, somewhere that will actually,
you know what?
Try to win a baseball.
I'm gonna call my shot here. I'm gonna say he ends up in LA, but not on the Dodgers.
The Angels.
Mm-hmm. So Anaheim.
That'd be interesting. Pull like a reverse Shohei.
I think that's like, what can it happen still within the Mike Trout window? I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna call my shot. How sad is that? We're in Paul Skenes' second year.
I've told people this. I have told people anytime I talk about Paul Skenes and the Pirates that basically like that joke about how he's going to be traded for peanuts or anything. And like I get it. Like he's going to be gone. He's not going to be a Pirate long term. He's going to have his service time with the organization, and that's going to be it. But I always tell people Paul Skenes is going to be a Pirate for 5 seasons. And then in that last year, before that last year of control, he's going to be traded for whatever they can get for him. Because there's no way that the Pirates are going to play out that 6th season and not move on from him and recoup nothing from that. So that's just the way it's going to go. We saw it with Garrett Cole. We saw it with Garrett Cole. There's no way that he gets to that last year of control. And Paul Skenes, it's tough for me too to even want to tune in when he's pitching. And that's terrible for me to even think about because of how good he is. Like, if I could watch a Pirates game, except skip when the Pirates are on offense, and just watch whenever Paul Skenes is pitching, I would love the game because it's more entertaining that way. But I don't even want to tune in when he's pitching because half of what I'm watching is just this piss poor offense that takes the field. And we hear the same excuses every single year. We got to figure it out on offense. We know we got to be better. We've got to turn a corner on offense. I've been hearing that from Derek Shelton's mouth for a long time. And I've been hearing it from Ben Sherrington from a long time. And they have not done anything to improve the offense. They have not pressed the right buttons from a staff standpoint. They haven't made the right additions from
Derek Shelton was a hitting coach, by the
point.
way.
That makes it even worse. I didn't even know this.
He was hired. The Pirates brought him in after being the hitting coach for the Twins, I believe.
Well, 6 years into a rebuild, and
you were any hitters.
6 years into a rebuild with the best pitcher in baseball, and you are quite literally at your lowest point after having multiple first overall picks. I don't know how you do that. Like, I feel like maybe not necessarily from a team standpoint, even though I think it is. I think it is.
I know how you do that.
Point.
They have 3 hitters that I think would even be like in other teams' lineups. And all 3 of them, while they're not maybe performing that great right now, they're all carryovers from the previous regime anyway. Like, Sherrington has not acquired any of O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds, or T. Brian Hayes. And those are their 3 best players. Andrew McCutchen as well. He was off today, but I was looking at today's lineup. So
Andrew McCutchen, the 38-year-old, is
probably their best player right now.
Well, he's also at worst he's a top 3 bat on the team, like consistently.
Yeah. No, I mean, you look at the numbers. I mean, out of guys that have more than so Joey Bart's played 12 games. He has 40 at bats. So like he should qualify here. He's hitting 275, 370 on base percentage. Andrew McCutchen's he's played 1 more game. He has 3 less at bats, 270 average, 357 on base. After that, their next best hitter this season, guys that have more than 50 at bats, IsiahKiner-Falefa hitting 250 with a 323 on base percentage, slugging 304. So 627 on base OPS. Brian Hayes, 217, 299, 616 OPS. Brian Reynolds, 211, 269, 352 slugging, 621 OPS. O'Neal Cruz hitting 200 now, 333 on base percentage, 360 slugging, 693 OPS. This offense is abysmal. They had 4 hits the night that we're recording this. 4 hits. You know who the 4 hits came from? 2 from Jack freaking Sawinski, Tommy Pham, and Henry Davis. That's who accounted for their 4 hits.
The night after having
anybody that was hoping that was them turning a corner, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was 1 game. This team sucks.
They got up for a Skenes start. That's all it was. They finally gave some run support.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm so frustrated right now. I feel like I need 30 seconds. It's a great time to say that the Pirates, the biggest problem, other than Paul Skenes right now, they don't have a game changer, a single one. They don't have a single game changer. What's going on, everybody? Smitty from around the 412, and I just want to take a quick second to give a shout out to our folks at Game Changers. Their logo on the screen right now, right above my microphone. Over 2,000 different designs in their catalog. Luxury heavyweight material. I am wearing one of their shirts right now. Best vintage t-shirts in the game. Head over to gamechanger.la or pick6.la to pick up some shirts. And guess what? Use code AT412. Save yourself $10 on your order every single time. Again, gamechanger.la or pick6.la. Best vintage t-shirts in the game. Check them out. And when you don't have game changers, you need to win on the margins. This team does not play small ball well. They can't. They got a bunch of guys playing out of position. They can't do the little things well. Offensively, it's just all around bad. Fundamentally awful team. Do they practice at all? Like, do they do anything when they're not playing games?
What? And this is the funny part too. We haven't had a Pirates show for 2 weeks. Is not only do they not play baseball well, they just don't do anything well. Semantics of towards the fans. Like the whole
the
Bucko
PR.
brick thing is terrible. And I don't know how you let that happen if you're the Pirates, knowing that you do so many things wrong. And from a PR standpoint, you let that get out. And
a week after the Clemente thing where they put an advertisement on the wall, like, which again, if these things are discussed, if they do a good job of putting this out there, explaining beforehand what's happening, and just having an open line of communication, probably not that big of a deal. But because they continue to just pile on themselves, have no line of communication with the fan base, have no reason that the fan base should trust them, that's why they receive the backlash they do for every little thing, whether it seems like it's minor or not, because eventually over time, a bunch of minor things become a major thing. That's how things work.
Yeah. And I saw Dan Zancrilli on the Fan the other day talking to Muller and Pony, and he said that the room is tense on Federal Street, that Bob Nutting is pissed. And
what the hell is he going to do? Go to RC Cola? Like, what changes are we talking about here?
I can understand why Nutting's pissed, but that doesn't mean he's exempt from blame. That doesn't mean he's not part of the problem. Like, yeah, I'd be pissed too if I was being talked about the way that everybody talks about him, but there's reasons for it. It's so warranted why everybody feels the way they do about the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they just continue to shoot themselves in the foot time and time again.
This is a thing where, like, okay, this would be more of a Sherrington thing than a Nutting thing. I guess there was like some financials were discussed, and as opposed to putting more money into the roster, Sherrington said, let me take that money and invest it in the baseball operations.
Yeah, that's nuts to me.
And we're not seeing the fruits of that labor.
I'll say nothing I've seen shows that money went anywhere with baseball operations. He might as well gone down to the Rivers Casino and put it all on black and gambled it away. Like
might as well went down to Rivers Casino and put it on the Pirates. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no effort that has been shown by doing that. And if you're taking what little money they can add to that payroll and adding it to baseball operations, you need to see something turn around with this team. But you're not even adding anything to this team to see things turn around. What are you adding more to baseball operations for if your offseason acquisition is Tommy Pham and trading for a injured Horwitz? That's your bright idea for an offseason to turn this offense around, not to mention playing guys out of position. It makes no sense to me. This baseball team's pitiful, and it's sad that we are literally halfway through April and we're already at this point. It should be expected, though. And you and I, hot take, are nuts for even thinking that they would sniff a winning season. 82 games by you, 83 by me. I want to drop that total by 30 wins because right now they're – I'm not even joking. Because I know the sample size is – the sample size is small. I understand it's small, like 18 games out of 162. Small sample size. But if you expand that over 162 games, the Pirates are on pace for 54 and 108 right now. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Wait, that's funny because you said if you're dropping it by 30 games, you're at 109 losses. So that's basically what they're on pace for.
Yeah, I think it's.
If I said 30, I would be it exactly. Right? Wouldn't I be at the exact number?
No, you'd be 2 off. Because
okay.
Yeah, other way. But that's what they're on pace for right now. So anyone who thinks, and I know, and I've been an advocate for saying like they're not going to lose 100 games. Losing 100 games in baseball is hard. And I'm not talking about this season, just in seasons past. Like losing 100 big games in baseball, you have to really suck. The Pirates really suck. And I don't think that they're going to get enough out of their team. Like we talked about what it could take for them to even be competitive for a potential postseason run. That's laughable right now. That conversation, throw that out the window. What's it going to take for them to not be less than 60 wins? Because we talked about what they're doing in some of the starts from their pitching staff. Like they have kind of thrown away a few starts from Paul Skenes. They finally had some good run support from him in the game on Tuesday or the Monday, excuse me. And you're getting some decent starts from Mitch Keller. Besides that, the starting pitching, especially without Jared Jones, been a little bit hairy at times and not as good as we or as like depthful as we had hoped. And when you're getting the lack of run support with that, plus bullpen efforts sometimes that are very, lackluster, you're talking about a team that is all around very bad, that has a superstar as the face of the franchise. That's really all this is. This is the 2011 Pirates with Andrew McCutchen. Like he's the only player.
Yeah, it's like the meme of that really nice car in the trailer park.
Yeah, honestly, it is. It's the Bugatti in the trailer park because he is your diamond. Everybody else around him is rough. He is literally the diamond in the rough because there's nothing promising about the rest of the team outside of Paul Skenes. You never know what you're going to get. And the fact, and I love that he's performing this way still, especially growing up in the era that we did, the generation that we did. I love that I get to see Andrew McCutchen play meaningful at bats, at least to him, and performing well individually. Not that it's meaningful for the team because the team sucks. But if the 38-year-old is one of the offensive leaders on your team still, I feel like something's gone wrong. As much as I love Andrew McCutchen, I feel like he should at least be batting somewhere in the middle to lower end of your lineup is where you would ideally want someone of that age, some of that demographic to be at. But the fact that the 38-year-old who is close to retirement is still one of your lead bats, it's just sad to see everything else around the Pirates going wrong.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Like from a pitching standpoint, I want to go there next because I think there's a lot of positives within there. Like you're talking about the starting pitching. I'm not saying you're wrong, but like Mitch Keller has one bad start against the Yankees. Andrew Heaney has one bad inning against the Reds, and they can't make up for it. Like they're not pitching bad enough where that should even be a conversation to me. Like you look at the ERAs here. Obviously, Paul Skenes at the top here, 2.96, but like Mitch Keller's 4.3, Andrew Heaney's a 3 exactly, and how much better should that be? Mlodzinski's is a 6.23, but he's like a spot starter. Falter again just had like the one bad start, really bad start, and then Harrington, I don't know what to expect of him anyway. I mean, it's a 10.13 ERA, but he's not. Don't even know if he's to be back into the rotation or when exactly he will be. But like the bullpen is really where I wanted to focus here because I feel like there's been a lot of good, encouraging things to come out of the bullpen. It's not the names that we would have thought we were talking about being the strength of it, whether it's Joey Wentz, Caleb Ferguson, my guy. Hey, I will say from our preseason predictions thing, Justin Lawrence is looking awesome. And that was the guy that I said was going to make a little bit of a name for himself this year. Don't ask me about how the Kyle Nicholas prediction's going so far, but the Justin Lawrence one we can talk about. And then Dennis Santana in 8.1 innings, what he's been able to do as well. But yeah, to me, Justin Lawrence has been like kind of the star of the show for this bullpen, just in terms of 12 strikeouts in 8.2 innings, just the 4 hits, 1 run, and it was like a bad luck run as well. So I feel like he should have a clean line there. But like to me, the pitching has been good enough. It's just they need to be perfect, basically, with what they could have given up no runs tonight, and this game would still be getting played as we're talking right now because they didn't score a single run. So they could have been completely perfect, and this game's still probably going on. But I don't know. It's so frustrating. Not only because of the one player, obviously Paul Skenes being on the roster, which we've harped on quite a bit through this, but just in general, I feel like the pitching gets lamented and gets painted in a bad light for being probably what they should. Like sans Jared Jones is probably the performance that we should have expected. There's just no margin for error.
Yeah, I'm looking at team totals right now. Offensively, the Pittsburgh Pirates are surprisingly 25th in the MLB in runs scored. If they did not have the game that they had the other night against Washington during Paul Skenes' start, which they scored how many? 10 runs?
10.
They would be 29th. So almost scraping
this
the bottom
early
of
in
the
the
barrel
season,
there.
that's a pretty big difference. One game can make that. Yeah.
Yeah. Batting average as a team, the Pirates are last in the MLB. Yeah. They are batting 195 as a team, and let's see, OPS as a team, Pirates are last, 573. On base percentage as a team, the Pirates are 26th at 280. It's slugging.
Cruz and family.
Pirates are last. The slugging percentage as a team is 293. Like,
oh my god,
it's so bad.
They're hitting
so
with wet
bad.
noodles. Where are these torpedo bats? What are we doing?
The Pirates are too cheap. They're not going to spend money on those. Are you kidding me? It is absolutely insane. Pirates also have hit the least amount of home runs in the MLB. Not that really matters that much, but like obviously you want to have some power to your lineup. 30th in the MLB.
Well, it certainly matters if you're not going to have guys getting on base. You need guys that can change the game with one swing. And they don't have that. Like they have nothing. The Pirates
are third in the MLB in strikeouts, 167. The only teams above them are the Colorado Rockies, and 100. Well, third in the MLB is not good for strikeouts, by the way.
No, yeah, I was saying
Colorado Rockies is 169, and the Boston Red Sox have 190 strikeouts on the season.
Yeah, anytime you're mentioned with the Colorado Rockies, it's not where you want to be.
It's bad. It's just so bad right now. In all around, I agree with you. The lack of interest in this team, I feel like, has to be at an all-time low. And then
I think there's actually some expectation. Like that's the thing. I don't know why. Because if you realistically, if we took a look at this was all based off pitching, and even with that, we should have foreseen this coming. That they just didn't have the offense to do it. Like imagine the types of seasons they would need to be having from. Like it need to be everybody overachieving offensively, really, because they certainly didn't go out and help the guys that are here. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough, and it's not something where there's like guys right on the horizon in terms of a bunch of hitters that are going to come up here and make all that, like what Nick York, Billy Cook, are those the guys that we feel like are going to make that much of a difference? Nick Gonzalez gets healthy. I don't know. Spencer,
I know it's too early to bring up standings whatsoever, but the stupid thing about all of this is, even at 6-12, they're literally like 4 games out of first place in the NL Central. Like the division's not that overwhelmingly good. The Cubs are 11-8 right now. Reds are 500.
Nobody's
so is
OP.
the Cardinals. Nobody is OP. I mean, it's not
the Cubs are really good.
Unfathomable if the Pirates were to turn a corner that they could get into some contention for an NL Central, but that's just not going to happen. There's no corner that's going to be turned. They are just going down a straight alley, and that alley is never-ending pain for Pirates fans.
Yeah. Yep. It's like you're walking through that tunnel on the third baseline at PNC Park, but that door's locked at the end.
Yeah.
That's what they're walking into. Oh, boy. All right. Well, I'm done talking about this team. I got nothing else to say. I'm disgusted by what I've seen so far in 2025. And hopefully, like Dan Zand really said, hopefully there is some change that gets made. But, like, the thing about that is, I don't know about you, while I'm totally on board, 100%, get rid of Sherrington and Shelton. It's not like I have a bunch of faith in terms of who the next guys are going to be and what they're going to do. Like,
sure.
Do we trust that they're going to identify the right people and hire the right people?
That's a good point to make. Also, I wanted to bring up, now that you mentioned the Dan Zangrilli thing on the fan too, I thought Pony made a good point. Like, if you are
what happened?
Yeah. No, I thought Pony made a good point that if you are going to give Derek Shelton an extension 20 games into a season, why are you not able to then fire somebody 20 games into a season?
Especially he's not making that much from what has been put out there. Like his contract's up at the end of the year and he's making like $1 million, $1.2 million.
Yeah, I feel like it's a valid point, and it brings the question, and I know we don't want to talk about this team anymore, and we're wrapping up the show, but it just begs the question that I asked a couple weeks ago, what is the breaking point for this team, and how bad does it actually have to be until some real change is made, especially looking at the manager and the GM.
Whatever needs to happen, that's what I want to have happen. So I don't know. We got this series with the Nationals right now. I think this is a 4-gamer, right? So it's still 2 more games in this series. Doesn't wrap up till Thursday. Then they got the Guardians. Oh, yes. We go to LA at the end of the month. That's going to be awesome. So my prediction here, not my prediction. What I want, this isn't a prediction. I should have said prediction. What I hope happens is we get outscored in that Dodgers series 75-0 in 3 games. An average of 25 runs a game from the Dodgers.
Speaking of the Dodgers and runs, did you see last weekend when they lost 16-0 to the Cubs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, I wonder what that's like.
And then just be able to bounce back though. Like it was nothing.
Oh man.
But right now they're 3rd in the West, the Dodgers.
Yeah, I feel like that breaking point is a long way away, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
have we gotten to the point where kind of like we are with the Penguins, or we're with the Penguins? Have we gotten to the point with the Pirates where we don't even really want them to win the games anymore? We just want it to get as bad as it can get, but not for the same reasons as the Penguins. So the Penguins, obviously, we want the benefit of the pick. Pirates, it's kind of tricky because I want the players to perform well, but I also want the organization to crumble.
There's so many guys on this team where the whole thing with the Penguins was just because I feel like they don't need to set a culture. It's already there. The guys that matter have already won. They've had a taste of success. With the Pirates, that's not been the case. Most of these guys haven't played on a team that's been over 500. So
yeah. Well, the guys that matter probably aren't even on the team because the team sucks.
Yeah, I'm just saying
a couple guys that matter. But yeah,
Reynolds, Hayes, Cruz, for those guys, I don't necessarily want them to just have the bottom completely fall out. I'd feel bad for them individually. And then you also got to, maybe not worry. I don't know how people feel about them. When do they reach their breaking point as individuals where they don't want to be here anymore? You can't just be part of a losing team every single year like this and just be okay with it, as a competitor. Yeah. I'm sure when Brian Reynolds and T. Brian Hayes signed those contracts, certainly, the money was nice. They could have gotten that money elsewhere. I think that they were kind of buying into a vision that they have not seen whatsoever start to scratch the surface of taking place.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good point. I'm looking back. The last 2 seasons are the best seasons of those guys' careers, because the best seasons besides the last 2, because they've won 76 games the last 2 seasons in a row. Before that, they were 62-10, 62 and 100. Excuse me, 61 and 101. The COVID year, they were 19-41, but 60 games. I'm not even going to try to work out the math of what that is over 162 games. But then in 2019, even the Reynolds year, whenever we had the shirts and everything, and Brian Reynolds had a great rookie season, 69 wins. They were not a good baseball team. You have to go back to 2018 for this team to actually have a winning season, which is crazy. That's the forgotten winning season is 2018. And the only reason they had a winning season is because they went on that ridiculous 11-game winning streak, which, man, that got brought up again today.
I was just saying, speaking of that, somebody's trusting the process, just not the Bucking process. Shout out to Shane, though, man. That's been one of the cooler stories so far, I'd say, the early MLB season here.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, like you mentioned before, questionable facial hair. Interesting, interesting design
it's not
choice.
Good. Yeah, anybody that has that light of hair color, no.
But I feel like with his performances, he can just keep doing it.
He ain't changing.
Who are we to say?
With the way he's pitching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If for whatever reason you're still here watching this and joining in on the misery that is the Pittsburgh Pirates. If you're listening somewhere else, Apple, Spotify, wherever your podcast from, be sure to leave us a 5-star review. Subscribe over there. Whether you are watching here or listening somewhere else, check out the description of the show. All of our great sponsors. But we only talked about the one so far, and that was Game Changers. When it comes to the Pirates, I mentioned 3 guys that I feel like could be on MLB rosters elsewhere. Nobody else to me is making the cut. Smitty from Around the 412 here, and while I may not have much hair, the hair that I do have will not be cut by anybody besides Keek at Keek's Barbershop. My friend Christian Circle, been with us since day one. Keek's Barbershop, located 401 Burkitch Way, Suite 2 in Beaver, PA. Download the app The Cut, book an appointment with Christian today, or you can do walk-in with Tony or Ashley. But again, Keek's Barbershop, 401 Burkitch Way, Suite 2 in Beaver, PA. Go check them out. Old school vibe in there. Absolutely love it. Cannot recommend them enough. Wouldn't go anywhere else. Maybe I'll see you there. You had an interesting look on your face, and I was like, did I do something wrong? When we came back from that, I thought you were saying something.
No. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm looking at what the on-pace attendance is for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh,
currently, currently the on-pace attendance is 1,454,000, which would be the lowest in the last several years.
Yeah.
But 2022 they were at 1.2 million. I mean, 21 you can't even really count that because I feel like that was like the partial attendance, right? 859,000, no attendance in 2020. And then you have some like 1.4 something millions, but I feel like the early projection is definitely buoyed up by that Yankee series that they had opening day. But I feel like it's going to get worse.
Dude, that's
like
the thing is like even Skenes starts aren't even drawing the way that they should. Like that's the like I get it's a weekday, but like that didn't matter last year. There's definitely a level of like that we haven't even seen in terms of disappointment that we've gotten this year from the fan base in general, because I think that there was a little bit of heightened expectation that's just obviously not being met.
Yeah. I'm not even sure that whenever I come to Pittsburgh, I don't even know if I want to go to a baseball game. I'll probably end up going to one just because I haven't been to one in a couple of years, but it's tough to actually want to go there.
Yeah, solid team. Anyway, right above Tyler right now, logo for Marcelo Electric, our guy Brandon Marcelo, aka Boots, providing in Beaver, Allegheny, Lawrence, and Butler County his services, commercial, residential, or service calls. Get a hold of him, 724-614-0611. Again, 724-614-0611. The link to his Facebook page will be in the description. All of his contact information is there, along with several posts where he's got pictures of the work that he's done in the past, what he can do for you. So hit him up. Hit all of our sponsors up. Keeks Barbershop, Game Changer. Save yourself $10 on a shirt using code AT412. Not sure if there's anything Pirates-wise worth buying other than a Paul Skenes shirt right now. Kutch, nostalgia purposes. Yeah, certainly on there. Still love Kutch. Probably still their best defensive outfielder, too. You mentioned the offense, but my God, with what they've been getting defensively and how he's looked in right field, probably still their best defensive outfielder out there, as sad as that is to say. Anyway, be sure to follow us on everything at Around 412. As I mentioned before, again, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you want to join us next week for the NFL draft, please do so. We'll be having a lot of fun on here and some giveaways going on with us and our friends as well. We'll be here round 1, round 2. Get at us. In round 3. I should have said night 1 and night 2. But anyways, let's subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time. For Smitty, for Tyler, this has been the Around 412 Pirate Show.